Find more questions and study at your own pace on our website. The link will be in the description. Let's get started. Question 1. Which of the following provides an IS auditor assurance that the interface between a point-of-sale system and the general ledger is transferring sales data completely and accurately? Option A. Electronic copies of customer sales receipts are maintained. Option B. Monthly bank statements are reconciled without exception. Option C. The data transferred over the POS interface is encrypted. Option D. Nightly batch processing has been replaced with real-time processing. The answer is option A. Electronic copies of customer sales receipts being maintained directly relates to verifying the completeness and accuracy of sales data. By having these electronic receipts, an IS auditor can cross-verify the sales data transmitted from the POS system to the general ledger, thereby providing assurance that the data transfer is accurate and complete. Question 2. During a post-implementation review, which of the following provides the best evidence that user requirements have been met? Option A. Operator error logs. Option B. End-user documentation. Option C. User acceptance testing. Option D. Management interviews. The answer is option C. User acceptance testing provides the best evidence that user requirements have been met because it involves actual end users testing the system to ensure that it meets their needs and expectations. UAT validates the functionality and suitability of the system in a real-world environment, directly confirming that the requirements have been successfully implemented. Question 3. What is the primary purpose of documenting audit objectives when preparing for an engagement? Option A. To identify areas with relatively high probability of material problems. Option B. To help ensure maximum use of audit resources during the engagement. Option C. To help prioritize and schedule audit meetings. Option D. To address the overall risk associated with the activity under review. The answer is option D. The primary purpose of documenting audit objectives when preparing for an engagement is to address the overall risk associated with the activity under review. By clearly defining the audit objectives, auditors can ensure that their efforts are focused on assessing and mitigating significant risks that could impact the organization. This risk-focused approach improves the relevance and effectiveness of the audit in providing assurance over key risk areas. Question 4. An IS auditor noted that a change to a critical calculation was placed into the production environment without being tested. Which of the following is the best way to obtain assurance that the calculation functions correctly? Option A. Check regular execution of the calculation batch job. Option B. Interview the lead system developer. Option C. Obtain post-change approval from management. Option D. Perform substantive testing using computer-assisted audit techniques. The answer is option D. Performing substantive testing using computer-assisted audit techniques is the best way to obtain assurance that the calculation functions correctly. CAATs allow an IS auditor to directly test and verify the accuracy of the calculations by analyzing the relevant data and logic behind the calculations. Such testing can detect errors or inaccuracies introduced by the untested change, providing a high level of assurance regarding the calculation's correctness. Question 5. An organization has recently become aware of a pervasive chip-level security vulnerability that affects all of its processors. Which of the following is the best way to prevent this vulnerability from being exploited? Option A. Install vendor patches. Option B. Review security log incidents. Option C. Implement security awareness training. Option D. Review hardware vendor contracts. The answer is option A. When an organization becomes aware of a pervasive chip-level security vulnerability affecting all its processors, the best way to prevent this vulnerability from being exploited is to install vendor patches. These patches are typically released by the hardware vendor to address and mitigate the identified security issues. By promptly applying these updates, the organization can enhance the security of its hardware components and reduce the risk of exploitation. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to check out our website where you can find more questions for this exam. The link will be in the description. Thank you for watching and good luck on your exams.